Today I will be going over how you can create an Instagram content ideas machine. Now the idea behind it is, first we'll start with why most people struggle with content ideas and what if you could let automation find the best posts for you. Now in today's world, there's more and more content out there and it gets a little difficult in terms of figuring out, you know, what are the best performing posts in your niche or in your category, and maybe as someone who wants to grow organically on Instagram or any channel for that matter, knowing which posts are top performing allows you to try and replicate the things that are working and really just take out a lot of the guesswork from growing on social media these days. Now, this workflow, a high level overview, I right now I have it set as a trigger where I just click this execute workflow button and it'll get run, but essentially you can have the trigger set to whatever you want, maybe like a daily thing, a weekly thing, maybe when you update a row in your Excel sheet, or the possibilities are endless. Um, so here in this workflow, what I'm using, if you look at this, it is something called APIfy or Apify. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. And if you're not familiar with this, so if you're not familiar with APIfy, it's basically a large repository of something called actors, and it contains a bunch of scrapers that you can use for your applications. And the one that I am using, this one right here, the Instagram scrape. Um, yeah, so I'll leave the link down below in case you guys want to check this out or check out any of the other scrapers. This is a wonderful website. Anyhow, so I'm using this APIfy Instagram scraper. You have to go ahead and create an API token under your account. Connect that here, and I'm telling it to run this Instagram scraper. And what I am doing is I am searching by hashtag, and the hashtag for the purposes of this video I'm using is marketing. What I want is posts, and I want a result set of 5 and 50 max items in each result set. When we execute this, you can see the output here. You get so this is not the actual Instagram posts, but this is the output of the task we just ran. So from here, now what we do is we go ahead and we get the items from the task, right? Which is called the data set. And so again, APIfy account. What I'm trying to get is the data set. Well, the operation is get items, and I am simply just retrieving from the ID, which is default data set ID, and it returns back the following. So I have the posts right here. It gives you a bunch of information like posts per day, the relevant hashtags. Now, one of the problems is this is huge. There's a lot of information here that we don't need, and also this is just getting posts in general, right? What we want is the top performing post. So, and you see here, there's something called latest posts, and there should be something called top posts as well. So in the next step, what we're doing here is we're extracting the top posts, right? So I did a split node and the fields to extract this top posts, and what it gives me back is the following. So here's the caption. There's the type. There's the comments, the images, the likes, and all of that. Now, if you guys remember in one of the previous steps, when we're running the task, we said that we want posts only, and yet I might have videos and reels, and the reason is essentially is this web scraper might not be perfect, right? It's not something that's officially licensed from Meta, so there are, a little bit of slight things here and there. And this is one of those where I ask for posts and it gives me, pretty much everything. Now, in order to fix that, in N8N, I have a filter to get me only the posts. And if you look at the way I set it up, is I'm just saying in the JSON if the type is not video and if there is no video URL that exists, then go to the branch true. If it's false, it just doesn't process it because we don't need those items. And if you can see um, in my latest run, 11 items were false, so 11 items were, and after filtering, I have 20 items that are posts. Now, one thing that I did with this workflow is I didn't just want to get I didn't just want to get the posts. I wanted to do something where I set a score for each post based on the engagement, like the comments and the likes on the video. And it's a very simple formula where you just kind of set a score so that later on you provide that to the AI agent, and and it can make a decision based off of your score. Um, so here, let me. Okay. So what I'm doing here is I'm saying you don't have to look at this complicated. Well, for people that don't are not very familiar with JavaScript, it's nothing complicated. But essentially, what I'm telling it here is comments, uh, in a way, takes twice the effort of just dropping a like on a post. And so what I'm telling it is calculate the number of likes plus 2 times the number of comments because comments have a heavier weight. This is, to be honest with you, this is not necessary. This is just something extra that I added myself. We run this, and now what it does is look here. It sets a score for each post that we have. Now, the next step is simple, sort by the score. And so the top score is 38,661. So it sorts it by the top. And the reason why we're sorting is because we have a limit node here, which will tell it to keep the first 20 items. And in this case, it doesn't make a difference because we only have 20. But let's say that you are building this workflow and you want to use it, but instead of having a max of 50 or whatever, let's say you put a number here of like 200 or 300, right? What you still want is the top performing posts, and so you would sort them and then keep. Again, you can decide on what number you want, but the reason you do this is so you don't have, for example, 100 posts, and out of those only like 40 are top performing, right? So this is just a way to give better data to your AI model. So once we reach here, we branch off into two directions. And the reason I did this is one of the issues I ran into is when I used the API to get the posts, I realized that a lot of the posts that I was getting were not in English per se. So, for example, you can look here, all these posts are in a language that is not English. And for me personally, what I want to do is to give the AI model the best possible data set so it can give me back a good result. If I start to mix in different languages, I'm not sure how good the result it will produce for me. So what we're doing here is I'm extracting the captions, right, of each post, and I'm putting it into a posts sort of array type. And once I have that, now I'm sending it to OpenAI, and simply what I'm telling it is detect the language for each caption and return JSON in this exact schema. So IDX, this is a index. So this is just to be able to identify each post with their captions, because later on we're going to combine the results that we get from this. And then I'm telling it, give me the language in the ISO 2-letter code. And just for extra, I guess, safety, also give me, is it English, true or false? So I send it, and the response it gives me back is the following. So IDX 0, language PT, I'm assuming this is Portuguese, and is English false. And it does this for pretty much all of them. And once it processes it, I have to now parse this response, because this is still a string. So for me to work with this in N8N, I need to be able to access it directly. So what I'm doing is I am just parsing the JSON, and the result is here. So you can see the difference between this format and this format. Now this is something that I can go in N8N and drag and drop the values. So once we have those, I again split these, because right now it's considered one item and I need it as separate items so that I can loop over them in N8N. And once that's done, we merge back here. Now before I go into this one, let's just quickly go over to this one. So after limit, I also go to here, and all I'm doing here is I am just setting that IDX that we spoke about earlier. So now each post has their IDX. Now we merge the two, and in merge, all I'm doing is I'm telling it combine both branches, combine by matching fields, and I'm telling it the field to match is the IDX, right? So it matches on the IDX, and I'm telling it to enrich input 1. So take the info from input 2 and enrich it into input. So input 2 is, the language stuff that we did. Input 1 is the original information that we have. Once we have the merge, now what I'm doing is I'm going to an if node, and I'm saying basically look at the json.language tag, and if it's set to en English, proceed. Otherwise, don't process that item, and it does that for all 20 items. And as you can see, 12 items were false and 8 items were true. And now you can see that if you don't have this language filtering, it makes a pretty big difference. So now once that's done, we go through and aggregate. So I'm taking all of the fields that I have, and I'm putting it into a posts object, and put all this together. And once we have that, I send it to the OpenAI model. For this one, I use the GPT-4o. Honestly, it depends on your use cases, and you can try and go over all the different models and their benefits and whatnot. But for the sake of this video, I just went with 4o. And one of the reasons is I know that GPT-5 is the newer and supposedly better model out there, but you can read this online. But so far, GPT-5 has not produced the best results in terms of costs versus speed and all that. So I just went with 4o. Now my prompt is fairly simple prompt. I'm just telling the model that you are a senior content strategist. Be concise, practical, and human. No jargon or fluff. And the goal is to create highly engaging, relevant Instagram posts. I'm telling it I will be providing you the top Instagram posts for a given hashtag. And we tell it, identify 3 to 5 clear themes, trends across them, and produce 5 short content ideas for on LinkedIn or Instagram. I just have LinkedIn here because, just to show you that you can use this for other platforms other than Instagram. And then I'm telling it return in this JSON format, and you will see why in a second. AI model processes it, and this is what it gives me back. So the theme, the hook for the post, and the caption right here. Now again, this is a single string format, and I need to, so the way I set this up is I updated in Airtable. If you guys don't know what Airtable is, it's just a online web browser-based database management system. You could use something like Excel sheets as well. It's just a personal preference. So anyhow, in order to be able to update this in any application, you need the fields split out like so. So you see I'm telling it to split out the fields into parsed.ideas, and this is what it gives me back. So I have themes, I have the ideas, which is the hook, caption, and hashtags. So once that's done, now we go into Airtable, and I can show you what my Airtable looks like. It looks something like this. So we have the caption, we have the hook, we have the hashtags, and we have the themes. And I'm sure now you can appreciate why we have the fields split out even in N8N. It's so that you can kind of go in and update them like so. So it's fairly simple. You know, in Airtable, I create a personal access token. What do I have to update? It's a record. What am I doing? I'm creating or updating. And then the base is your database, essentially, which is content calendar for me, right? Content calendar. And here from the table, it's my posts table. And yeah, I'm matching it on caption. It identifies record based on the caption, and the rest is just me updating fields from, and that results in me having a content calendar where I have all of these pretty good captions and hooks and whatnot. So I do think that this is a pretty good way to generate content, or at least content ideas. For example, you can read one of these, right? Like, show who you are, not just what you've done. Let your personal brand speak before your work does. Designers, your portfolio isn't enough anymore. It even gives you the hashtag so you kind of know what to do with your post. And if you can see here, you have the created time. So that's pretty much the overall workflow. A very beginner, simple version of this workflow. You can obviously make customizations to this as you like. You know, you can have something, as I was doing this, I realized you can have something where when you're going through these and you see, for example, at this step where I only have eight posts left after everything. Maybe I can have something that checks that, hey, if it's less than X amount, go back, do this again, collect it again, um, and then run through it. Let me know if you guys want access to this workflow. I can link it down below, and see you guys next time.